What's good everyone, this is Marlon from Marley Media. In this video today, I'll be showing you some free software that you can use to manage your samples on the cloud, as well as you'll be getting loads of free samples on a weekly basis. The software I'm talking about is called Loopcloud. Loopcloud is made by a company called Loopmasters, a UK company that's well known for supplying quality sample packs for pretty much any genre of music you can think of. I'm going to take some time to give you a quick overview of Loopcloud and explain to you how I'll be using it in my productions to make things a lot easier when it comes onto my creative process. Okay, so to get a copy of Loopcloud, what you need to do is head over to loopmasters.com and log in if you've got an account already. If not, go ahead and sign up. It's absolutely free. Once you've logged in, look for the link that says Loopcloud and download the appropriate version for your operating system. Once you've downloaded and installed Loopcloud, just go ahead and open up the software and you'll be prompted to log into the software locally on your computer. Okay, so now opened on my screen, I have Loopcloud, the main window, and I'm going to give you an overview as to what you're looking at. So at the top section, you can see we've got a search bar and we've got some categories that you can actually select and search for samples. So these are essentially tags that are going to be linked to the sample files, which are located down here in this big pane, which is essentially a browser window. And inside here, I've got pretty much all the sample packs that I've previously acquired from Loopmasters. If you have previous purchases, you'll have the exact same thing populate in this section as well. And any new samples or sample packs rather that you purchase from Loopmasters will automatically appear here as well. It may take some time to populate depending on how many sample packs you actually own inside your account. Now, if you don't have sample packs that you've purchased from Loopmasters, fear not, because you can actually get free samples in here. They start you off with some really nice samples in here that they take from their premium samples. For example, we've got a Loopcloud welcome pack here, and if I open that up, it's got a bunch of folders referring to various categories of sounds, and if you go into them, you can start using these as you wish. There are other samples inside this other folder as well, so these are just here to get you started if you haven't previously purchased any samples from Loopmasters. Now below the browser area, we've got the controls for playback and auditioning the samples. So we've got the standard pause play button. We've got some other controls such as your BPM. You can adjust your pitch and so on. Across here to the right hand side, we have a history pane. So you can go ahead and look at the samples that you've previously browsed and go back to them really quickly without having to search again. Now, one of the key things is that these files are not being stored on your computer. These files are actually being stored on Loopcloud's servers. So they're in the cloud essentially. So now what that means is that you have space to free up on your hard drive. You don't have to keep all these samples locally. Now that's a big thing for me, because I have loads and loads of samples strung across several hard drives, and I find it really tedious going through these samples from time to time when I'm trying to do some sort of production and I'm trying to find a sound. It can be really difficult and it just takes away from the whole creative process. So where this has everything populated online, and you can just go through and just use what you need at any given time. You can preview them. Number one, it frees up your storage space, and number two, you can quickly and easily navigate through these. Okay, so just to go ahead and show you how easy it is to use this software and to browse around, I'm going to go ahead and search for something. I need a drum loop. I can easily type in drum and hit enter, and it will just populate with anything with drum in the name. However, if I want to narrow things down a bit further, I can go ahead and click on drums in the section here for instruments. And let's say I want it to be a loop. I'm going to go and click content type and click on loops. I can now start previewing by hitting the play. Alright, so straight away you can start browsing through relatively easily and select the things that you want. One of the other big selling points of this piece of software is that you can synchronize it with your DAW. So I've got Ableton Live open up here, and essentially what happens is that in addition to this main software, there's a plugin that gets installed on your computer that gets picked up by your DAW. So whether that's Live, Logic, Cubase, whatever you use, what you'll find is that inside your plugins folder in your DAW, there is a plugin which connects your Loopcloud to your DAW and allow you to do synchronized playback within the DAW. So it will time lock it with your BPM and so on. So I've got Loopcloud here. It's already opened on a track inside Ableton. I'm going to maximize that so you can see what it looks like. So essentially this piece of software here is connecting Loopcloud to your DAW, and it routes the audio through Ableton or through whichever DAW you're using, and allow you to audition things directly inside your project. And it's a really good way of knowing what works and what doesn't work. To connect it up, what I need to do is, once I've opened up the plugin, I just need to click the connect button here on Loopcloud itself, and it turns blue to indicate that I've now gotten a connection. I've established a connection with Ableton Live. I'm going to play back that loop again. And as you can see, I've got some signal going on inside Ableton here. And the great thing is that anything that I do inside Ableton now would manipulate the playback of that sample. So if I increase the BPM, it would increase and so on. Okay, so say I like this sample, I can easily just go ahead and click and drag it across into Ableton. And as you can see, it's telling me I can drop it inside my Ableton. And now it's downloaded it to my hard drive. See how easy that was? All I had to do was drag it across. If I want something else to go along with this, I can now clear that out and search for some sort of, we can just hit the clear button here, and I can search for some sort of loop again. But I'm going to now search for, let's find some kind of keys. Let's do a Rhodes. And I don't know what key I want it to be in, but if I wanted to narrow it down to a particular key, I can come here and select it. Let's say F, or we could go C, and we can find loops that matches up with that. So we can now play that back as well. Okay, so that sounds okay. I'm going to go ahead and drag that one in as well. And so that's created another clip there inside Ableton Live, and let's play them together. And it's as simple as that. It's just a matter of figuring out what samples you want to use. And it makes it so easy to browse through the samples and finding new things that you probably wouldn't even come across because you don't spend the time on your sample packs that's actually stored in your hard drive, because they're not organized in such a way that it makes it easy for you to go through them. But with this, you can easily narrow things down to very specific criteria and just be more creative and get more inspiration for whatever it is that you want to do. They do have the pitch adjustment here as well. So say you find a sample that's not in the correct key and you just want to pitch shift it to see if it matches up with what you're playing or what your project is in already. For example, this here is in A. But let's say I want it to be you know, a few semitones up or down. I can always just drag it and see if it matches with my project. So there you go. A couple of things to make note of. I've been made aware that they are going to add some additional features in the future, such as allowing you to upload your own samples and tagging them as well with whatever categories you want to put them under. That would be a great benefit. So if you've created your own samples, or if you've got third-party samples, I'd imagine you can just populate your library with those. So that storage facility is going to be made available soon, as well as they'll be incorporating a store into the software where you can actually purchase individual samples. Therefore, you're not purchasing ones that you don't need and having fillers in folders when you buy sample packs, and half the times you don't use a lot of them. So that's it from me. Hopefully you found this video interesting. Do check out the links in the description for any resources, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Peace.